Okay, Alex, so 23 in the first paper that I marked, 59 in the second. Let's see whether that sort of improvement continues. Okay, so here, remember I mentioned this previously, the calculator doesn't know the context. You're not going to get penalized for it, but just good habit, if you're working in money, you add that 0, which the calculator won't do for you. What you've done there is worked out a 5p difference, not a 5% difference. To find 5%, first of all, you write 5% in decimal, which is like writing 5% in pounds, but then instead of subtracting it, you multiply it by that. So that's something that you need to be able to practice and get right. Meters, litres, kilograms is good. Miles is not metric. What I'm looking for there is kilometers. 55 is good. So we have 9 marks on that first page. Right, your curve is a little bit, that's not bad, that's good. That is a cylinder. A hexagon has got 6 sides. That's got 5. Pyramid looks like that. That's not a pyramid, that is a triangular prism. Okay, so there's some things there that you need to learn. So you've got 2 there, 1 there, 3 for the page. Diameter, no, that's a radius. Diameter is all the way across the widest part of the circle. That's not a radius, that's a chord. And that's not a trapezium. A trapezium is a shape. A trapezium is a 4-sided shape with 2 parallel sides. That is a tangent. So these are words that you need, they ask these questions pretty regularly, so it's important that you learn these. So chord cuts, tangent touches. That one's right, but that one is also equal to 0.4. 0.4 is the same as 4 over 10. 4 over 10 is the same as 2 over 5, because you can divide both those numbers by 2. 10 over 25, both of those numbers you can divide by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So you've got one right, none wrong, so you'll get a mark for that. With this one, your answer isn't in its simplest form, because both of those numbers you can divide by 3. When you divide the top one by 3, you get 2. When you divide the bottom one by 3, you get 2/5. So that fraction is right, but you haven't done what the questions asked you, which is to write it in its simplest form. 6 marks on that page. 8 is correct. Now, we will certainly be practicing these questions. Okay, there's no, oh, it's not y, it's a 4. So what you have to do to get the x on its own, you have to undo a take away 7. You have to do the opposite of taking away 7, which is adding 7. Now, if you're adding 7, you have to do that to both sides, which means that it's gone from that side, but it appears on that side. Take a look how I explain that one. Again, what you're looking for here is what you do into that number to make that number, and the same for that to that. And you should see that you're timesing by 4 each time there. 75 take away 24. Don't know where your 24 has come from there. That should be 74 take away 6 times 8 which is 75 take away 48. Those two are right. 8 is right. Sorry. 1200, and again here what you've done is you've added 4 pence. Okay, which isn't how it works. What you've got to do is 1200 times 4%. Now I think you can use your percentage button on your calculator to do that. So you would do 1200 times 4% equals 48. Okay, so you can use the percentage button, but you need to be able to use it correctly. So it's times, not add. So on that page, 6 marks. 45 is correct. 59 isn't, and I can't see where it's come from. So the median you're saying is 59 isn't. First of all, you need to put those in order and then find the middle. And then your mean, you need to add them all up, which you've done, and divide by however many there are, not multiply. So that part is wrong. Let me just check the mark scheme to see what I can award you for that. So I can give you 1 mark for correctly adding up the numbers. So that's right. For this one, you're going in the opposite direction. So you've got to do the 40460 divided by, but not 428, 1428, you're dividing by 1.19. So you're dividing by the wrong thing. So there's a mark there for correctly realizing you've got to divide. 3, 4, 5 for that page. Okay, you don't have to square the 25. The 25 is the area. So that's telling you that you've got a square with an area of 25. And in order to work out the perimeter, what you need to work out is how big each side is. So you're looking for a number that when you multiply by itself gives you 25, because it's a square, so you know they're the same. So hopefully you're happy that each side of those squares must be 5. Now the diameter of the circle is going to be the same as the side of the square, so each of these is going to be 5. So to work out the perimeter, you would add up all the 5s going around that shape. So it's out of 150. That's not what you do then. That would be the case if they all had the same amount. In order to turn the percentage, just like if that was a mark on an exam paper and Andrew got 69 out of 150, I would write that on his exam paper like that, 69 out of 150, and then to turn it into a percentage you would multiply it. 258 is correct, so 4 on that page. Okay, so this was work that we were practicing just before the I gave you the paper. So let me just go through it again with you. In order to find a 60-degree angle, the first thing you do, you put the compass point on the corner where you want to take the angle from. So that's A. And you just draw part of a curve like that. Doesn't matter how big your angle, your compass is, as long as you keep it the same. You then move the compass point to where the curve crosses your original line, and you draw another curve so it crosses your first curve. That gives you a 60-degree angle. always will. So that's an easy thing to practice. Just draw yourself a line, have a compass, and practice drawing that. Similarly, it's always the same method for cutting a line in half. Same thing, same starting point. You need to put your compass point on one end. What's different here is you need to make sure that your compass is more than halfway along the line. Otherwise, you'll draw two curves that won't cross. So as long as it's visually over halfway, and then you draw an arc like that, you then turn your compass around and put the compass point on the other side of the line. And you draw another arc like that. And then where the two cross is what you join up. So you're going to join up like that. And that's what we're looking for. And again, that is something that's dead easy to practice. Just make sure you've got a compass and a ruler, draw some lines and practice those. So sadly no marks for your attempts there. 73 degrees is that angle there. So you've worked out that you've added those together, you've taken away from 360, because angles inside a quadrilateral, a four-sided shape, add up to 360. So you've added those up, taken away from 360, gives you 73. We don't want that angle, we want the one outside. So we see that it's on a straight line. So we should know that angles on a straight line add up to 180. So you're going to do 180, take away 73, and that is the answer that we're looking for. So that is correct. That is not correct, and I'll explain why in a moment. So that is £7.45. This is 25 times 93 pence. So that's in pence. Now what you then do is you've added up pence and pounds. And you can't do that. You have to either turn that into 745 pence or turn that into £23.25. So you've lost that mark. Then the second part of this is that he's used 46 cubic meters of water in total. 25 of those are being charged at 93 pence. So what's being charged at 132 is 21, because 21 and 25 make 46. So that's your next mistake. Then you've added 745 twice. So of those 6 marks, you're only going to get hang on. You'll get 1 mark for working out that first part there. Take a look at how I explain that. We're getting tricky now because there's a bit of algebra involved in that, so that is something that you need to have a good look at. 2 for the page. 80 and 40 are correct. No, there is no correlation, because the points aren't positive or not negative. So does it indicate there is correlation? The answer is no. And then to have a look at your crosses. There are a few that are out. So what you're not doing is working with the right units per square. So going up here is going up in 2s in both directions. 20 divided by 2, sorry, 20 in 10 jumps is 2. So a few of those squares aren't in the right place. So you get 1 mark for that. 3 in total. So that's a good start, but then what you have to do so that's how much money is lost in the first year. So at the end of the first year, you then have to take that off that because it's lost that much money. And then you work out then what 18% of that is in order to find out how much is lost over 2 years. With this one, unfortunately, we know the length of the larger side, so it isn't an addition, it's a subtraction, and I think that is going to cost you all the marks available for that, yes. And take a look how I explained the last question. Okay, so total for that, what were we looking to improve on? 59 is your previous best. Let's see how close you get. 9, 12, 18, 24, 29, 33, 35, 38, 39. So it's a bit of a drop there. It's an E. You are 9 marks off a D, and lots of those marks can be found in the marks you dropped in the first few questions. Things like identifying a radius or a chord or a trapezium. Things like that is just a bit of learning that you need to do, and you'll see the more of these papers that we do how frequently those crop up. So please go through my solutions for this paper and make sure you can get your head around things that you think, oh, actually, yeah, I should be able to do that.